Nobody move.
Nobody gets hurt.
I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
And this is Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Pop McCann Whiskey, smoothest drink in the land. Grab your bottle today at popsmcannwhiskey.com. Also like to thank Friends of Martina White. Visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina has been doing as state representative of Pennsylvania. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond Creative. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com or call 267-362-WEB1 to discuss your project. And our title sponsor, AR Law, arjusticenow.com. We fight so you don't have to. Adams Renzi Law. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet. You get military and first responders discount. That is Morrow Flooring. You can go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com. Click on his link for more details.
All right, welcome back to another great episode we have lined up here. One of our fan favorites already.
Yeah.
In just our short tenure, Good Cop, Bad Cop. We have with us today Nick Gojcaj, correct?
Gojcaj, come on, get it right. If I can
Gojcaj.
say it correctly, so can you.
Nick G.
Nicky G. I'm going to go with Nick G. And we now have two Nick G's.
There's two Nick G's here.
Okay. One here and one there, all right?
Yeah.
You guys can compete with each other, but you're both handsome guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Nick has me beat by a mile. Nick is the
Benefit-
former, what your Mike D?
Okay.
Former Rikers prison guard.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
You had a,
Correct. I mean, you should
and a
consider-
fan favorite.
I consider former right now because you're in the... I mean, technically, I am former because they let me go. I'm in litigation with against them because of all this stuff, which I'm going to indulge on once we get
Yeah, we
settled.
don't need to touch on that just yet.
Right.
So
But
last
as we
time we
speak, I
had
am
you
former.
on, last time we had you on, we're getting some stories from you. And one of the ones that you really wanted to tell us was about a credit card scammer, I believe. Was that someone
Right.
stole a few million? You
Right,
want to tell us
so-
about it?
Mike hit on the last interview that we did that he said that when you go into prisons, if you're a embezzler type or credit card scammer, you're gonna move right to the higher food chain, if you want to say, because you bring a lot of value to the guys. Guys want to know how you did it.
Right.
How did you pull off X, Y, and Z? So it doesn't matter what the hell your charges are. If that's one of them, you're gonna be good with the guys because you have information there that's worth more than any money you could give them.
Yeah, they can go to college for 20 years and not know
It's an
how to
easy
do
score. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the officers knew that I had a gambling habit. I had a $5,000 a month gambling habit. believe it or not. Yeah, I
God
did.
damn, dude.
Right. So it was my birthday.
And you didn't do alcohol or drugs, but you did the gambling.
I made up for it.
Okay. Are you still gambling?
No, I checked myself out. I'm such a degenerate. I even banned myself from Mohegan Sun, but yet I still wear their shirts.
You're
They
not
must
a
have-
sponsor.
They must have had a piece of his
Right.
I must have had a piece of your pocket, didn't they?
Those motherfuckers, yes, they did.
So go ahead. So you meet this guy. He's an Amish.
No. So he's a black, he's a gang member. I'm not going to say what, because, I don't want to get anyone in more trouble than they're already in.
No.
But he had heard what other officers talking about what they saw on my social media page, saying about the rooms and comps and like, oh, look at Gojcaj over here. And inmates, Mike, they listen to everything that's being said. Yeah. Right.
Information is currency,
Yep.
especially in prison.
That's right.
Right. So I come in, I walk in, I relieve the officer and the guy, inmate, I never spoke to him before, but I see like he's comfortable. But I also tell he's a street guy, so he's connected.
He's been here before. Yeah.
Right. This is part of the game for him.
Yeah.
And he goes up, yo, G. Again, people can't say my last name was Ford. He's like, yo, G, what's going on, man? Happy birthday. I'm like, how'd you know it's my birthday? He says, because we have the same birthday. I'm like, oh, shit, okay, but you shouldn't answer my question. How'd you know? He says, don't worry about that. Then he tells me, oh, yeah, I heard you were in gambling the whole time, that you gamble a lot. I'm like, okay, that's more information. I don't know how the fuck as an inmate you got that.
Yeah, right.
He's like, so where do you go? When you gamble, what do you do? And I'm like, yeah, when I walk in there, I'm always walking there with at least $2,000. I never walk into a casino with less than $2,000. It's just not going to happen because with my system, I need $2,000
need
to
to
do what I
spend.
do.
Right.
To offset losses, to keep chasing. And he looks at me, he just brushes me off like with the with that ghetto kind of You ain't shit.
Yeah.
2000? And I'm like, wait, you're a fucking inmate. You know what I'm saying? You're out here there scrambling for ramen noodle soup.
For cheese sandwich. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, beating each other up for bags of potato chips.
Yeah.
He's like, he calls me the N-word again. For the people that don't know, the N-word, I call it ninja.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He says, ninja, you ain't shit. Like, really? What are you talking about? He says, I toss dice for 10,000 a toss.
Right.
And I said, whoa, 10,000 a toss? You must be, really high up on the food chain in this gang shit that you do.
Right.
He starts telling me what he did. And that he's an identity thief. Bless you.
Let's leave it on camera. What are you doing?
So I asked him, so what do you mean? Like, what'd you do? He's an identity thief. I said, well, whose identity are you stealing? He says, you're not going to believe it. He gave me 3 chances. He said, which group of people would you think are not going to check their credit scores? So I'm like, I guess old people, dead people is what I was guessing.
Dead ones, they're usually Democratic voters.
But they vote.
They vote Democrat.
Exactly. Senior citizens, people on their deathbed. He says, nope. Again, my ninja, keep trying. My ninja. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I give up. I don't know. He says he steals the identity of Amish people.
And what are you going to have? Credit scores?
Right. That him use electronics, basically. So he wouldn't tell me, of course, I'm desperately trying to figure it out.
You like it just now. You get a little excited about this?
Without a doubt. Mike, you just talked about the 20-year education. Fuck the education. I want to learn from this guy.
And why?
Why?
Why do you want to learn? There's a reason you want to learn, because you know something about him.
Well, he's admitting this. I'm not asking him. He's coming up because
You know something about him, though. You got his jacket.
I didn't ask for it. So he comes up to me and he shows me all his paperwork.
Right.
Now, for the people in jail, you got your paperwork there with all your charges and what the alleged, whatever the police have on you. Nick G, they got this guy for $700,000 in transactions in one day.
Well, wait, one Amish dude for 700,000?
Yes.
Holy
700. This guy did 700,000 in one day. And they were all like $50,000 braces, $35,000 rings. The cheapest thing that he bought that day was a $35,000 whatever. I'm not into jewelry, so a ring, chain, bracelet, whatever it was. So shit.
100K, who fuck cares?
Right, but it was 700,000, and when they raided his house, they got him for 600,000 in cash.
Damn. I want
Right. So I'm like, wait a second, 600,000.
Yeah, well, where's the dude at? In prison. Ain't worth it.
Right, but none of the stuff was that way.
He says it ain't worth it going to prison for that kind of money. You can't.
I ain't spending it.
People spend their whole life trying to make that kind of money. If you could do a 5-year bid and come out with 200, 300, 400, 500,000, you do it. Believe me.
So you do.
Sign me up
Once.
So you do have money buried.
Really once.
You do have money
I wish I
buried.
did. If I did, you wouldn't be
Sitting.
Yeah, Nick. So I go. I read his paperwork because now, like I said, I'm trying to figure this out. Like I need to know what the hell's going on here, because this is the guy. If you're gonna ever learn from criminals, it's gonna be like, this is nonviolence.
in his value.
Right. So I read his thing, and he got sloppy. He's been doing this for years and years and years and years. Him and his boys have been doing this for years. And he just got sloppy, just like everybody else. If you do the same exact thing,
Sloppy.
this guy eventually got sloppy. Nick, I know you're from Philly, so you might not be familiar with like Manhattan the way me and Mike would be. Mike, he went into that section by 57th Street where all the jewelry stores are. And stuff.
It's the Diamond District. Yeah.
He drove out there with his own freaking car. That's how he got caught. The cops just ran the place. And like, you couldn't even take an Uber or one of those Dominican cab drivers that'll drive for you for cash.
Right.
And I look at him. I'm like, yo, dude, this is not how you really got caught. He says, yeah, I did. I got beef. I said, but why would you're in the projects. Why do you have so much cash in there? You know you're going to get raided eventually at some point. Why would you have $600,000 in cash on you? Right. Again, he's not even breaking a sweat or stress. He looks at me like this, yo, G, I know I got to do about 7 years for this. My 2 daughters ain't got shit to worry about while I'm gone.
Yeah, right.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
So they didn't get all the stashes. They got one.
Yeah, he's got 10 times that. If that's what they got, he ain't sweating. He's got 10 times that.
And he's willing to do 7 years. And he's saying that he has to do 7 years for it because he's been already convicted of shooting someone in the past. So obviously, being a prior felon, they give you more time. Otherwise, he said he could have got maybe 2-3 years for what he did.
He could have almost walked on it, for Christ's sakes, without, there's no violence in that,
Correct.
Yeah. So,
But Amish people, can you believe that? Who the hell would
No, I never would have thought that. That's why these guys are criminals, man.
Yeah.
Try to do what they do.
some of those people,
I didn't even think you'd be able to get a credit card.
Hey, Nick, you worked the jails, and some of the most brilliant people in the world are in jail, correct?
honest to God, yes.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's a very straight, narrow type. So she's like, oh, the educated people are smart. No, they're not. They might be book smart.
Right.
But you give these inmates like a problem to solve and try to figure out where you don't need to know like what's some.
Yeah, you don't need algebra or calculus to figure it
Right.
out.
Yeah.
They're going to figure it out faster than the college educated person, the square,
Yeah.
without doubt.
Yeah. It's amazing how the minds, and collectively it's a veritable bastion of information too. I mean, the information that comes into a prison comes from every walk of life and every neighborhood. And it's just,
Absolutely. You do that. And in a way, I was comfortable around these guys.
It's kind of like a cop. The longer you go in your career as a police officer, you find yourself to be a little more comfortable around criminals. It's a very weird kind of thing, but you kind of, I don't say you guys hang out together, but you understand each other a little bit better.
am I wrong? The places they do with criminals are cops.
Understand each other better.
Yeah. You know what else I found so funny? You know how like the criminals, they always say, oh, the cops are lying, right? All of a sudden, you know how much truth the cops are telling? When a new inmate comes into the housing area, what are your charges? They ask him what's the charges. All of a sudden, the one who's asking the questions believes every word that the cop has accused them of.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you mean to tell me the cops are lying? Cops are lying when they charge you? They had nothing else to do but charge you with, charges of A, B, C, and D?
Yeah.
Well, bullshit, you're lying.
But what about when it goes to kids that fuck around or with children? You ever have to deal with any of those inmates?
Yeah, but the inmates already know who's who.
Yeah.
It's not like after you kind of figure out who's the odd one out on this, who's the one that's washing the fucking toilets all day long and doing laundry. Those are typically the ones.
Yeah. Are they getting picked on and beat up a lot? Is it like what we see in news? A child rapist comes in there, they're gonna get fucked up.
Not so. I mean, yes and no, but it's not going to be so obvious as because now there's cameras everywhere. So everyone there's at Rikers, everyone's out there fighting their charges.
Right.
So, whatever they're charged with, whatever felonies they're charged with, they also don't want to do that plus some kind of hate crime towards.
Right. Yeah, that people don't understand that about prison. Prison and jail, two different places.
Yeah.
Jail can be violent, but it's usually the guys in jail that are violent. They just came in.
Waiting to be shipped up or get their case done.
Or someone's robbed them of something. Because, like Nick says, when a guy comes into a jail, he's scared for his life because, number one, he's in a position either he's been in before or he knows that he's no longer in control. And then the other side of it is he's got to fight his fucking case, and you don't want to pick up a new one while he's there.
Right. How do you go straight to the judge? Like, oh, yeah, Your Honor, that is full charge that I'm here for.
Yeah.
Oh, now I got a new charge while I'm in jail.
For assault.
Right, for another assault. No, they're both wrong. Your Honor. The cops are lying on every angle.
Yeah. That's quite common. Yeah.
So what other misconceptions did people have? Because you got a lot of people watching this show that aren't law enforcement. So what are some of the misconceptions that people have about being in prison?
That if you go to PC, that you're quote unquote safe, you're not.
What's PC for?
Protective custody. So basically, like the people that go in there because they're snitching on somebody else on, or some kind of sex crime charges, whether you're a rapist, a child molester,
High profile.
high profile. Yeah, I've had to deal with two of those guys too, and it wasn't. It was uncomfortable. Um, I dealt
Why
with the
was it
guy.
uncomfortable?
Because you know that. So I dealt with the guy. I don't want to say his name, but there was a guy handful of years ago that was killing homeless people in Manhattan.
Right.
Like downtown Manhattan. I think it was like by Bowery or Chinatown, somewhere around there, Mike.
Right.
And while the homeless man was sleeping on the park
Was
bench,
he,
huh?
was he setting them on fire?
No. When he was walking around with like a pipe or a bat or something and just bashing their skulls while they're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
I think he did it to like 3 or 4 guys. And, you know, like, there's a rule, I don't want to say in prison or jails, but like, let's say if I end up shooting you because there was a job I had to do it, people won't give me such a hard time. But if I just do it to somebody who's just a defenseless victim and just go crack their skulls to death,
Right.
you're not going to be
Yeah.
very welcome in there. And then
No.
you're going to be very uncomfortable.
Right.
So I dealt with that. I had to deal with that kid. He was on suicide watch. He was a young Dominican immigrant. When I say young, he was like 22 years old, 23
Smart.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mental. Like the second I spoke to him, I didn't even know that this was the guy.
Right.
But the second 5 seconds into it, I looked into his eyes. I was like, oh,
You know, it's up into a fucking nut. Yeah.
right, yeah, this guy's out there.
Yeah. It's odd because people don't realize how often mentally disturbed. And that word's thrown around a little easily too, but more like people that are off, right? You might not be mentally disturbed, but you're just not there. You're just not there. Like,
So your medical term is off.
they're
They're
off.
just off.
They're just off.
Okay.
Or I'll just say a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic.
Because they could actually be functional, but they're off, right? I mean, they can dress themselves, feed themselves, even maybe have a job, but they're just off.
Couple fries short of a Happy Meal.
Exactly.
Or no prize in that real.
Like to thank our sponsors today, Martina White. Friends of Martina White can visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina's been doing as a state representative in Pennsylvania. Let me tell you, Mike, she's a big supporter of police. She backs the blue. She's a proven fighter for families, women, everybody.
Is she a patriot? Is she America first?
Absolutely. She encompasses, the American spirit for sure. We have a big population of listeners in Northeast Philadelphia, Southeast Pennsylvania, which would be her area. So you can check her out.
Has
Vote
she
Martina.
been in? I'm not familiar with the Philly district. Is she new to the scene, or is she, looking for re-election?
She'll be up for re-election in a couple years, but she's been around for a while. She has a proven track record.
Okay.
You can check her out. Her record really speaks for itself, especially when it comes to fighting for everyday citizens and backing the blue.
It's nice to have someone back in the blue. I mean, the officers are out there risking their lives every day, and with little pay and little appreciation in today's environment, it's been very difficult. And as you know, being a Philadelphia guy,
Unfortunately, that's something that's not common. Should be. It used to be a time where both sides of the aisle agreed on law enforcement, and that's something that's completely lacking. But with Martina White, she steps up to the plate, always has our backs, and does what's right.
great. Good luck with Martina.
Yeah, you can get more information at votemartina.com. I'd like to thank our title sponsor of the show, Adams Renzi Law, AR Law. They can be found at arjusticenow.com. And just to let you know, I know both of them personally. Christy, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, total sweetheart, absolute pit bull in the courtroom. And Nick Renzi, he's a South Philadelphia guy, true and true, neighborhood man. He's for the people. He helps people out down in South Philly, all around Philadelphia.
Their offices in South Philly itself?
Yes, their office is in right around South Philly, Center City, right on the
Do
border.
they handle
there.
a lot of criminal cases?
They handle everything, absolutely.
Are they on call 24/7 for someone who
always-
might take a pinch somewhere?
Why, you might be taking
Well,
a
I
pinch
mean,
that we know about?
you never know. I mean, wherever you show up, you got to be ready.
Well, you can keep their card on you.
Well,
Go to their
well,
website
well,
and
good,
call
good.
them up.
Will they give me a deal since they're sponsors of the show?
You might get a percentage off. I'll have to talk to her.
Okay. Yeah.
If you used them a few years ago, you might have not have gotten 14 years.
Well, that's another story.
Another story for another time.
That's right.
Again, AR Law, check them out, arjusticenow.com. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond.0. In today's world, your business is practically invisible if you're not online. With so many options for marketing your business, it's easy to get confused. That's where Beyond.0 Creative steps in. They have the expertise to help you with all of your marketing needs. Need a website that wows visitors? They'll build it. Want to reach more customers with Google Ads? They'll make it happen. They'll even manage your social media so you can focus on what you do best. Beyond Creative is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and Google Premier Partner. They're the real deal. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com. That's BIONDOCREATIVE.com or call 267-362-WEB1, Web1 to discuss your project now. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet, military first responder discount. You know, Tommy, we had him as a guest on a podcast. You can get your flooring done by a real American hero.
Yeah, and he's on time and on budget.
Yes, he is. He will beat any price. Bring a quote, an estimate, whatever you have. Tommy will beat it. 100% guaranteed. You have our backing on that one.
And he'll be there himself.
Absolutely. You can get a real American hero do your flooring for you.
But you always wanted to, Mike, I'm sure you did too, plenty of characters, plenty of geniuses. Oh, yeah. That in there, there was one guy.
Idiot savants.
Yeah. It's a good word. Idiot savants.
But they can't function in society.
That's a great term. Idiot
Idiot
savants.
savants.
Yes. That's a good one.
Thank you.
There was another guy that I called him the gamble of his life. So this guy, rumor has it.
Your nickname for him is the gamble of...
This guy gambles with his life, literally.
Okay.
And he's not settled with the city, but he comes in and now he's a mean looking dude. He's built like a running back. When I met him, he was in a neutral house. So it's not gang. You know, there might be a sprinkle of whatever gangs in there, but it's not gang dominated.
Right.
He walks in there and he challenges any three to a fight in the bathroom. And he's like, huh?
Any three.
Any three.
Yeah.
And so people are like, whoa, looks like this guy's a trained professional fighter or something. He's built like a running back. He is a mean SOB. Turns out the way he was making his money was robbing drug dealers' kids, kidnapping drug dealers' kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. To just give you an idea what kind of person this guy is.
Right.
Allegedly. That was what I...
Well, that's what he was there for, yeah.
No. He was there for murder. First degree murder.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, he called me G Money. So I was like, what's up? G Money, can I talk to you? Can you talk? Do you have time? I said, time. I have all the time in the world. I'm going to be here for 8 hours. If you want to talk, let's go.
Yeah.
He brings out all his paperwork. Now, this guy's 50 years old. He says, either I'm going to die in here or I'm going to become a multimillionaire. I said, how's that possible? He says, because if I die, because, I get found guilty, I'm not taking any plea deals from the city. I'm not taking...
This is good stuff, yeah.
I'm not taking a single minute of pleading guilty. I'm going to either beat the charges and become a millionaire or I'm going to die in jail. I said, how the hell are you going to do this? You're here for murder. He pulls out the paperwork of what the cops have on the reports, and it's all technicalities.
Right.
So there was a bunch of, I guess you want to say, paperwork mishaps.
Okay.
To create what's in America is known as reasonable doubt.
Okay.
Now, for those that don't know, just because you get found now guilty of reasonable doubt, doesn't mean you didn't do it. Doesn't mean you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy bothers me for not bothers, but I was entertained by like all the evidence, if you want to say. He kept me there for like 3 hours, just showing me, like arguing. And dude, Nick and Mike, this guy stays there reading the laws and reading his paperwork. He's not out there fucking around,
right,
joking around, talking about how things used to be and chicks. He's there strictly focused on his case. He does not associate with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, based on this cop's report here, on this angle here, then it'd be impossible. He created reasonable doubt. So he said, then he asked me if I was a juror, how would I vote? I said, I'll be honest with you, I vote not guilty, but I still think you did it. The cops messed up the paperwork. Yeah. So that's part of the procedure. They have to get it right.
Right.
I said I would vote not guilty based on reasonable doubt. There's reasonable doubt because I have to go based on the evidence and the evidence.
Right.
And he says that's why he's not taking a day. At that point, he's already fighting his case for 5 years when I met him. He was already in there fighting. And they started from 25 to life to 25 to 20 17, 13, anything to just to get him to bite.
Take 5 and walk.
Yeah, if you agree to it right now, we'll let you go.
Right, of course.
Yeah. No, he took it all the way. And guess he beat the charges. He beat
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So is he a millionaire?
Well, it takes when you go with against the city and stuff, it takes years with all the delays and tactics. But he was released, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years ago, so he should be a millionaire within a year or two, because it typically takes about 4 or 5 years.
So what?
He's responsible for this.
Is he suing the city? Is that how he's gonna get his millions?
Of course, yeah, for false imprisonment, because they kept him there for almost
Yeah.
Right.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Dude,
for 5, 6 years. That was his plan. He said either they're gonna find him guilty or he's gonna be a millionaire. No other options.
Don't they have to pay him for every day or something like that anyway?
It's a lot, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't remember the number, but I'm gonna say something like $700 a day.
Something like that, yeah. So if you're there for 5 years, you're already a millionaire.
Damn.
Yeah, so you figure 365 times 7, let's make it an even 700. You're talking about roughly $250,000 a year.
5 years,
Times 5. There you go.
it's 1.2.
But then there's going to be other stuff, other
1.277.
for pain and suffering, emotional damages.
The deprivation of family, deprivation of freedom, the whole bit.
Yeah. So it's the government's all fault, because officers, the NYPD, the detectives, and everything who pieces everything together, they're paid very well to do their job. They can't screw that up.
Right.
People's lives are on the line here. At the stroke of a pen, you could go either free or to jail. It's scary.
It's one of the things that I tell, and I've told Nick you, and I've probably mentioned this to you. I think every cop should start out in the jail.
Well,
Yes.
I thought that. I want nothing to do with being in jail.
What would you say?
Nope.
Yeah, Mike, we spoke about it before. Yes, absolutely, they should be. They should do part of the academy should be maybe 3 or 6 months in a prison jail.
Even 2 weeks. Just be in a prison for 2 weeks to see what it's like. To see what it's like when you lie.
Couple days.
When you lie on your forms to get somebody fucked, what you're doing to them and their family. That's why. Not for the guys that do the job right and with intention, but for the guys that flake something, or the guys go, it doesn't really matter. He's just a piece of shit. I'm gonna lock him up. I don't buy that. And I never operated that way in the street. I didn't make many arrests, obviously, but I never, ever went beyond with somebody. If I could give them the benefit of the doubt, I gave them the benefit of the doubt right on the spot, because I didn't know I'd be in prison, okay? But I always had that in my approach to things, because I was in a car one day with the guys, and this is into my career, and these 2 cops are trying to get this guy that they got in handcuffs to talk to them for what? For one thing, so they can get overtime.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Even though it was a misdemeanor,
Yeah.
if he makes a statement in front of you, you can go to the grand jury. I didn't even know this. If he makes a statement in front of you, you can go to the grand jury with that statement. I never knew you could go to a grand jury with a misdemeanor anyway, but that's what they were trying to do, to get in and make a statement.
Yeah, you got those cops that didn't use technicalities.
That's not how it's supposed to be. Listen, I don't blame you for wanting overtime, but to get somebody to say something so that you can write a report on what he said, make the fucking thing up anyway, if that's what it's really all about, because you're just trying to screw the guy anyway so you can make money. I mean,
you always have those different groups of cops that are into the take into court overtime. Oh, they fucking love court overtime. Let me get that piece of evidence on the ground. Let me say I found it. I'll put my name on it.
You know what it looks like when a guy gets checked into a jail cell, and then when he has to visit his family through a fucking piece of glass or a phone. Yeah,
again,
they know what they're doing. That's my feeling.
Now, is that why you want them to be in prison, or you just want them to see what it's like to be a prison guard? You're right.
I want them
of it.
I want them the same reasons Mike gave, but also I believe that it toughens you up to be in there. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you're an unseasoned, if you're an unseasoned officer and you come into the streets, and now if you grew up sort of like in a sheltered area of New York, and now you got to deal with gangs and drug addicts, it's a culture shock if that's not what you're used to.
It is. I'll give you an experience of my own. I didn't know this, but as a police officer, you get called to hearings in jails. I didn't know that, right? So I had to go to Rikers. I had to report to Rikers for some parole hearing or some shit. I don't fucking know, right? I had to leave my gun and my shit outside. And now I'm walking in the jail with the inmates in uniform, NYPD uniform, not corrections. You see them looking at me, and like they knew I didn't belong there.
Right. They could tell. They know too.
And I was a young skipper then too. I wasn't like I was on the job 8, 9 years. I was on the job like 2, 3 years. I was still a little, just starting to feel my way around in life. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is not the place I want to be. Sir,
No.
not in uniform. Like that was the target, the uniform, you know? And I didn't want to be in civvies either, don't get me wrong. But to be in uniform in a jail, a little different.
Yeah, I'd have to,
Feeling, to say the least.
as a rookie, go pick up people for court. See, we didn't have court in the prison. We had court in the districts, preliminary hearings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to go up to prison, as a rookie in the wagon. And again, walk in, gun is left in a locker room, and you're in there in full uniform. And there's 60 inmates running around. I'd say 40 of them are open celled and come and go as they please. And they're waiting. And I'm just like, man, if they decide to fucking rumble, there's only like 4 prison guards and me and my partner. This is not good.
This is not good.
Yeah, your asshole would puckered. I'm like, fuck that. I want nothing to do with being a prison guard.
I mean, so
Hell no.
to your statement in that, I've been in the chain gang lockups where I've taken guys and put them on chain gangs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've done chain gangs as well myself. But so I never actually thought of it that way. But there was something different about that because there was more control. We didn't have.
Yeah, but most of those guys are fighting their case. There's not going to be anything going on.
Look at the problem with you. Yeah.
But it's still unnerving when you're looking at it like
when
that.
you're in a fucking jail, like when it's full of 500 people moving around the jail, you're like, wait a minute, are they supposed to be in cages? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Nick, to add more confusion to the scenario you just presented, I can't speak about other correctional facilities anywhere in the country, but you know that the male to female rate, now I'm talking about the ones who identify as males and females, is about 1 to 1 at NYC DOC. So basically half the staff are female.
Right.
Yeah. Can you
Real females? Women correctional officers.
Yeah, wait, women with vaginas.
Yeah. Okay.
Real women, female corrections officers. Correct. Right.
So 1%. Wow. So
It's
how
a-
many of them get banged?
It's about a 1 to 1 ratio. Yeah, it's about.
No,
it's-
how many of them are banging inmates?
No
You know
comment.
it.
I'm not here to go. Does
Yes,
it happen?
you are.
Of course.
That's exactly why you're here. Everybody wants to know that question. How many are banging inmates?
I thought
Anyone watch this podcast, for example, wants to know.
I'm not
couple,
going to answer because those are my brothers and sisters.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus. Does it happen? I'm sure, but I wasn't aware of any. But if you were to say it happens, I believe you.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
it happens.
Yeah, it happens. No way.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took him out of the federal correctional facilities I was in.
You dealt with some?
Well, I didn't get any. I was a little pissed, but yeah. I know they took at least 2 or 3 out of Mariana. When I was in Mariana, Florida, they took like 2 or 3 of them out of there.
I had a guy used to tell me he was in lockup about 5 years, and as a female guard would take him to the showers. He said we all used to walk out naked in front of her, and finally someone ratted them out, and they ended up getting in trouble. One guy got some time added on for him walking naked in front of her. Yeah, it's wild, but they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna walk me down here? We're gonna walk out of the shower just like that.
Swinging quack.
Yeah, swinging our elephant shrine all over the place.
Yeah. So some guys get off on that stuff. I got caught like that one time. At the
What?
beginning.
Throwing your swang around? Swinging your swang around?
No, not swinging mine, but some guys want to be seen, or maybe they have a really big one that they want to show off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when at the start of the tour, you're supposed to go, huh?
Love Nick.
You're
You're great,
funny.
dude.
You're funny. Keep going. Well, they want to show it all.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I was and some of these mental people, those.
Listen, I do it.
You're like that.
I'm not shy.
It's a lingual, isn't it?
No, but this one
Grower,
guy.
we'll show her.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
So this one guy, at the beginning of every tour, he's supposed to do the count and check for live breathing bodies, and to do it, beginning of the tour inspections and stuff. So you go to each cell, you knock on it, make sure they're breathing. This guy has one, I swear to everything I love, as big as my forearm.
God bless him.
Right. I passed by and I'm like, oh, that must be contraband. That thing cannot be like,
Oh, God.
so
You
I
didn't
come
touch
back.
it, did you? Did you get in and grab that thing?
No, so I can't. I passed by. As I'm passing by, I go back. I'm like, oh, that can't be real.
It's fucking bat in there. What's going
But a baby arm.
Holy cow. It was real. It was a little guy.
Yeah, like little guys.
Yeah. That was crazy. But he would get off on the officers there that he wanted to, like, hoping that was a female officer doing the count. And so maybe entice her. If you were a little bad look, it was me.
You weren't impressed?
No, I was impressed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
With a blessing that he has, he should never be a criminal. I can when he gets out, I can find jobs for him. If you know what I mean.
We have plenty of work.
I'll be his agent.
Get him on the podcast.
Get him on a podcast.
They call him. Brilliant.
There's a market out there for his abilities.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Pull Pornhub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So we had a film. Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't like the whole smell, man. Geez, I love to. You're right.
So listen, Nick, thanks for joining us. Your stories are entertaining, and hoping that your compadre down in Florida will be able to join us because he got a little more insight with some of the, I guess, the higher ups and the actual real corruption that goes on. I mean, you brought to light about the cells the last time you were here. Good help.
Thank you, Nick.
A pleasure, Nick G. Mike, always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Thank you.
Great. Fan favorite here, Nick G. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that YouTube button, smash it,
Always
subscribe.
entertaining. Always
He's great.
entertaining. Thanks, Nick.
Fan favorite.
Thank you. Take care.
Much love.
This episode is sponsored by AR Law, PA State Rep Martina White, Biondo Creative, Morrow Flooring, and Pops McCann Whiskey.